everyone. So it is currently 10:20 a.m. and today is 29th February, Thursday, and this is my to-do list for today. So I have to revise the complete physics and chemistry today, so there's a lot of work to do. So without any further delay, let's get started, and I'll also be practicing the previous year questions. So yeah, let's get started. So here I was revising the chapter Light, Reflection and Refraction. So I was roughly reading the theory along with the activities, and if I was unable to understand any activity, I was just taking the help of YouTube because activities are also important. So after being done with the revision of the theory, I started solving the in-text and exercise questions, but I only focused on writing down the numericals rather than the subjective questions. Now let's talk about why I'm studying two subjects in one day when I could have easily done them in the span of 2 days. So basically on 28th I had started revising the chapter electricity and I was even shooting for my YouTube. But then once I got done with the theory and activities, I had a really bad headache and I could not even solve the questions. Like I could not even solve any question. And I thought that I was going to get a fever or something. So the headache just worsened and I was feeling extremely feverish, but thankfully I did not get a fever and it just got better the next day. So that is the reason why I am studying physics and chemistry both in one day, because I could not complete physics on 28th February, and that's also the reason why I could not post anything on 29th, because I did not study anything on 28th except that one chapter. So I had actually thought of practicing a lot more PYQs, but I could not. But that's all right, we still have 1st March, and on 1st March I'll focus only on questions and sample papers. So since we have our science exam tomorrow, let me ask you a very simple question from the chapter metals and non-metals. So what are the products and the reactants involved in the corrosion of copper? Okay, and if possible, you can also write down the balanced chemical equation. This reaction is not mentioned in the NCERT, but the product and the reactant is there. Like the equation isn't mentioned in the NCERT, but since the corrosion process is there, the equation might be asked, and this is also a PYQ. So now here I was revising the chapter magnetic effects of electric current, and I was doing it very roughly. Like I think I got done with it in like 30 minutes. And after that, I started revising the in-text exercise questions. And by the way, in these 30 minutes, I had also revised all the activities present in the text. And in the science exam, if you have observed the additional practice papers, all the questions are going to be completely objective. Like they say that it's 50% competency based questions, but I think it's more than 50%, and it is actually a very good thing because you don't have to memorize everything again and again. You can just write everything on the basis of your understanding and knowledge, so it's a good thing. So here I was revising chemistry, and for chemistry I wrote down every single chemical reaction which was there in the book, including the example, the activity, the exercise in text, everything, because I was supposed to balance it, and other than that I did not want to make any mistake while writing the formula also. So I just decided to write down everything. I'm not learning it, it's just that I'm practicing it so that I don't make any kind of mistakes, and even if I do, I can just understand where I'm making that mistake. Also, instead of revising the chapter carbon and its compounds, I decided to revise the first chapter, which was chemical equations and reactions, because carbon was a very lengthy chapter, and after revising all of that, I did not have the time or energy to revise such a lengthy chapter. So I just decided that okay, on 1st March I don't have a lot of things to do instead of the questions and all, so I will revise this one chapter. I will give it 2 hours max, and then I'll start off with the questions, because other than that I'm mostly done with rest of the theory division. I also wrote down the state or color change or precipitate formation, anything if that was written in the book. And then I had this crispello, and it tastes pretty good. Like it's really delicious. You can try it once. And here is Barfi, who is very sleepy, who is on the verge of sleeping. So yeah. Afterwards, I started studying again, and here I was revising the topic of ionic compounds from the chapter metals and non-metals. And even though I have memorized the chart of metal extraction completely. I just decided to draw it once just to get a better clarity. That's it. It wasn't needed, but I just decided to do it. I mean, there is nothing wrong, right? And the only thing that I'm tensed about is the time management, because we have to highlight the key points. That is very important in the science exam. And then also we have to draw diagrams wherever necessary. Like if you observe the model answer which was presented by the CBSE, you will see that the topper has made diagrams of the solenoid, prism, uh, then glass slab wherever it was necessary, and obviously ray diagrams will be there, which will, and they will just ask you to draw that in the question itself. But just to make your answers look more presentable, you have to add on multiple diagrams, right? It is not compulsory, but still it will definitely leave a good impression. So I don't know. That's the only thing which is kind of worrying me, because I'm not sure if I'll have enough time for that, because in the English exam I got done with the full examination just 4 minutes before. So that was a very stressful moment for me. I hope the same thing doesn't happen in the science exam. Here I was preparing the diagrams of science, and I mostly focused on physics rather than on biology. So from bio, I revised the flow chart. I basically made a flow chart regarding the transportation of blood in our body. I saw this on the model answer sheet of the topper, which was again provided by the CBSE only. Then I practiced the defects of the eye and the diagram of the solenoid, circular loop, etc. Then I started off with the PYQ. So this was a session which was taken by Vibhuti ma'am on the channel of Shubham ma'am. So this session had like 25 PYQs, and I was watching it on like 2x speed, but I did not solve all of the PYQs. Since this was a session of physics, I only practiced the numericals. Otherwise, the rest of the subjective questions, I just explained the answer out loudly, and then I checked if my answer was correct or not, but I did not just write it down because there was no need to do so. Currently done with all my tasks for today, and instead of the chapter carbon, I did the first chapter, which was chemical equations and reactions, because carbon was quite lengthy, so it was going to take up a lot of my time. So I'm going to do it tomorrow, hopefully. And yeah, that was it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm extremely sorry for the delay. I'll see you in my next video very soon. Bye.